My name is Cole Rakow. I'm from the Martin School of Public Policy and Administration at the University of Kentucky, and this is my research: revenue complexity versus revenue diversity, a new approach or a new empirical approach to an old debate. So basically what I'm discussing here is, in the literature, there are two different explanations of revenue diversity. The idea of different states or local governments relying on either one revenue mechanism, one tax mechanism, or relying on an array of them and in equal balance. And one of them is the revenue complexity hypothesis. It's more of a fiscal illusion argument from political economy, that states or governments are doing this in order to increase expenditures, to increase the size of government. The second is more of a management argument. It's the idea that diversity is a tool in order to reduce revenue volatility or promote revenue stability, allowing for better budgeting and processes like that. These hypotheses are treated very separately. They're dealing with the same sort of issue, but they're very different explanations, and they're tested as such, tested in complete isolation from one another, and not really thought of as part of one system that maybe is happening all at the same time. So my approach is to come up with a unified theoretical model that incorporates all of these elements in the same financial system. And when you do that, what you can see is that there's a lot of feedback happening here. Within each hypothesis, there are feedback loops, and then certainly when you put it all together, that's the case. And so that's the theoretical insight into this. Empirically then, what I tried to do, I was studying this at the state level for all U.S. states from 1977 to 2012. And at the same time as I was trying to make this theoretical advancement in the literature, I also wanted to make some empirical improvements. So there were some empirical issues, under-addressed endogeneity, things that I thought could be improved. So I used this as an opportunity to do so. And so I analyzed this data with Ariano-Bond panel methods, and I also used Granger causal methods in order to address causality. And that's not formal causality, but it's at least an econometric approach to try to get at this when you can't instrument everything appropriately or come up with a perfect identification strategy. And what I found when I did this, I used each of my main variables as a dependent variable with a host of controls, and the other two variables as the main explanatory variables. And what I'm looking for is that lagged values of the explanatory variables will have positive predictive information on the current value of whichever variable we're looking at that time. And this is what you see. So this is that same picture, but with the actual empirical results. And two unexpected findings. So the revenue complexity hypothesis is rejected. This should be a positive relationship, but it's negative. However, a lot of people have been finding that in recent years. The revenue complexity hypothesis is not as new as a model or as popular lately. However, this revenue volatility path, this is very current, and we use diversity as a policy tool in order to reduce volatility. This should be a negative relationship, but instead we're actually finding that it's positive. And the explanation for that could be many things. This is being found by a lot of the newer literature. I have another paper that looks at some reasons why that might be, and other people are doing interesting things, but this is kind of a baseline approach that we really need to be more careful with the way we're measuring these things and approaching them. And that's forming the foundation of a lot of future research.